Hi, I'm Robert from the San Diego Public Library, and I'm here today to show you how to make a nautical wreath. So if you've seen my other videos, we're going to start with the blank wreath form, and I have something to stick in the center, and then I have my Deco Mesh. I have a couple ribbons, little embellishments, and that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to show you one, and then I'm going to change the camera angle and show you a little bit lower. So all I'm doing, and to save time, I usually put it towards the center, push these down. I'm going to cut right at that 6, move it over just a little bit, and then cut again, right? Because I'm cutting 6.5 inch pieces of Deco Mesh. So I'm going to take my Deco Mesh. I've already cut a couple different colors. I have this beautiful dark blue, and I have this light blue color. And then I'm going to take my chenille stems, and I actually like cutting these in half with a pair of wire cutters. So you can cut them in half, cut them in 3s. Depends on you how many you have. I'll cut them in 3s to show you that you can cut them in 3s. It's just whatever is easier for your fingers to cut. I know some people have mobility issues, so sometimes cutting these, I know it'll get kind of tiresome. And there are already chenille stems, pieces of wire on the frame for me to attach my coils to, but I might save that. It depends. It always depends on how much coverage the Deco Mesh offers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my little coiled bundles. So all I'm just doing is rolling it in my hand, holding on to it, rolling this one, holding on to it, this one, and holding on to it. And now I'm going to tie the 3 of these together with one of these chenille stems that I cut. So I'm just going to pull with my left, tighten with my right, and so I have my bundle, and then I have room to either attach this to the wreath form, or I can add the ribbon and still have some room to attach the ribbon to this. And yeah, but like I said, I always bring more than I think I'm going to need. Like I said, just because you can see that this Deco Mesh, the weave is pretty open, and if the weave is open and I attach all these to the wreath form, and if it doesn't give a lot of coverage, I always bring something else. So let's see. I also have a brown color, and so I can fill in maybe some of the empty spaces with the brown color, and I also have a white. And I have this white burlap. So I can choose to fill in any of the blank spaces. And so far looking at it, the white doesn't really go, but the brown I think does go for sure. So it's whatever, tries to fit my fancy. All right. Hi, welcome back. So I'm just I am just attaching my chenille stem to my coils, and then turning my coils into a bundle. I pull on the left, tie with the right, and then I'm just cleaning up. It's probably hard to see on the camera. Some of these loose threads that come loose with the Deco Mesh. And you can do this towards the end, or you can do this now. I'm just trying to clean it up so it doesn't look so raggedy. Now I'm just cutting my ribbon. Get this. I'm going to start making these bundles that I have right here in the front. These decorative ones. Just going to cut my ribbon to the same size. So I'm cutting these all about 6 inches. So afterwards I need to dovetail/fishtail all of this ribbon. Whatever you prefer to call it. You just got to make it look pretty. Nice and pretty. So I'm just going to stop right here just in case I want to keep that for something else. Start cutting my red burlap. making this just a little bit longer, making this about 7 inches. Dovetailing or fishtailing, whichever you prefer to call it. My burlap, so there's one piece. I'm gonna do my 3 decorative ribbons. Fold my coil, or roll my coils. This is 2 pieces. I think it's, maybe just 1 long piece. That's actually a little long. Grab one of the other ones. Second one. Now my 3rd. Just rolling it in my hand. Putting this on top. So here's where sometimes you want to have a decently good-sized chenille stem, because if not, if it's too small, it's actually going to be pretty hard to roll these, or to tighten these, I'm sorry. So there it is, looking nice. So I have the checkered one on top, or the stripe, I'm sorry, on top. I'm just going to pull out the 2 bottom ones, which is the lighthouse and the anchor. I'm just pulling them out so they kind of stand out more. And then if you have any of these loose strands, like I said earlier, go ahead and cut the strands off. You can do it at the very end, but I just like to kind of clean it up just a little bit. And there you go. And you just keep going from there. Okay, so I finished attaching my ribbon and the burlap to the little coiled bundles, and now I'm going to start attaching all these bundles to the frame. Sometimes you can only put like around 4, I think I've only made sometimes like around 4 or 5 of these, and then other times I'll fill it in with flowers, or obviously I'm going to stick it in the bundle of a ribbon. Then like I said, I do have more ribbon, just a matter of color. Like I said, I want to look at it now before I start attaching everything, just to see, how I'm going to fill in everything in. Because worst comes to worst, like I said, I can just attach it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it now before I get started. So all I'm going to do is attach the burlap, push them back, then go up and down, up and down. This one is decently long. I don't know if I'll get through the whole thing if I go too crazy with it, so I'm gonna have to kind of go sparingly. And see, even though this is a pre-made wreath form, sometimes where they put these stems, isn't always the best placement. Because some of them are like, I think, like zigzag perfectly, and others it's like, that's not the perfect placement for it. So I don't want the burlap to be straight. I want it to be, kind of like messy looking, kind of in and out of itself. I mean, it's burlap after all, so I want to give it, kind of a good scrunched up look. All right, so now my burlap is attached pretty nice and tight. And now I can attach these coiled bundles without worrying too much about how it's going to fill it in. And you can alternate between using the leftover chenille stem that you have attached to the bundle, or you can use the one that comes attached with the frame, whichever you prefer, whichever is easier for you. See, now I don't know if you can see it, but now it actually looks fuller. Whereas when I first attached it, I could see the frame and I was like, oh gosh, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm going for. And so you're not going to see the burlap that much. But like I said, that was my point, was that you're not going to see it, and because I don't want to see the frame, but I do want some sort of coverage. And this cream color is pretty neutral. So, okay, for the last bit, I'm just going to attach the bundles that have the ribbons on them, hopefully facing the right side, because some of them have the, let's see, the lighthouse. I wanted to face it up for sure. This part gets a little trickier because I have to see the frame and the chenille stem. I have to see where I'm attaching it. There's a bunch of, different little stems in the back. I guess it doesn't really matter which way the lighthouses are facing, as long as they're facing some direction. Like I said, even though the whole thing is essentially blue, it's, a couple different shades of blue, because the red is the accent color, that's what you see most in some cases. You really see the red. And the very last thing after I kind of clean it up would be to pull these blue chenille stems down so you don't actually see them. So I believe this is large enough for me to attach. Sometimes what I do is I think I'm going to do that. Hot glue this to the back of the frame, and that should be enough for me to nicely attach it. Get a glue stick. Get to add my little embellishments. These are actually little clips, but I'm just, attaching them. Just kind of randomly placed, just wherever I feel needs a little embellishment. All right, so now that I've done that, with just a little bit of time, see if I'm going to attach this nautical rope anywhere. You know what? I'm going to try the tie-dye ribbon and see how it works. Well, tie-dye ribbon doesn't look bad. One thing I said is I'm having a hard time seeing where the actual chenille stem is. Okay. So, this is what it's looking like. And I think I'm going to attach just a couple more strands of this far out ribbon. Nothing too fancy. It's just that I thought it would complement the colors, and it actually does. Because it's essentially the same colors. The dark blue, the light blue, the white, and the red. Very kind of patriotic. You can either say this is a summer nautical wreath, or you can say it's a Memorial Day wreath. Ay. All right. Last piece. And you know me, I'm probably never done, but for now, I'm Robert. Thank you for joining the San Diego Public Library's How To Festival and How to Make a Nautical Wreath. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Thanks. Hope to see you soon. Bye.